it was like
Not a fire.
I forgot.
Alea?
How does phones work?
Oh, that was what we did online. I mean, in class. What game did we play? What's the card game we played, Aurora?
It was like food chain.
Food chains. And what is an example of a food, Jade? What is an example of a food chain, Tyler?
What do they eat? What do they eat and buy?
Mm-hmm. Can you give me an example?
Let's say eagles. Hawks.
Okay.
They eat sparrows.
But what do sparrows eat?
I don't remember.
All right.
I can.
Ryan, do you have a food chain?
Cats eat beetles and beetles eat rotting logs.
All right. Alessandro, do you have one?
Yeah. And I see cheese and then alligators.
Yes, that is a good one. Brandon? Okay.
Something with the spider eats the beetle, and
Mm-hmm.
the beetle eats the rotten log.
Nice. Does anyone on this side remember any of the food chains? Ruby?
The beetle eats the animal that eats the beetle is a lizard,
Mm-hmm.
and the beetle eats flies.
All right. Aurora?
A tarantula eats daddy long legs. And I don't remember what they eat.
Okay. Lincoln, last one.
A raccoon. So a raccoon eats like trash and trees sometimes.
Okay. Now, is that it? Everyone's just connected in one line, one food chain? No. Do you guys eat the same thing for every meal, every day?
No.
No.
We eat everything different.
Yes. You eat different things all the time. Who's ever eaten chicken? Who's eaten turkey? Who's eaten broccoli? You've never had broccoli, Jackson?
I love broccoli.
But it wasn't that good.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I hate broccoli.
All right. Back to me, please. So, we're not connected in just one straight line, right?
Yeah.
Some animals have to worry about different predators eating them. Just like some animals rely on different species for their food. So I'm going to go over a few vocabulary words real quick. And this is all straight out of the glossary in the book that we're going to read. So you guys will have this right in front of you as well. So ecosystem. An ecosystem is a group of plants and animals living together along with the place where they live. So like the ocean is an ecosystem. Yeah. The ocean includes all of the fish and all of the seaweed. Yes, the sea otters that live there, including the ocean itself. Extinct. Does anyone know what extinct means? Rooney?
Extinct means like animal like gone from a long age ago.
Yes.
It doesn't mean a long age ago, really.
Yes, it is a species that is no longer living anywhere on Earth. A food chain, which you all are very familiar with, is a group of living things that are connected because each one eats the other. And today we are going to go into food webs. Has anyone ever heard of a food web? I just need a show of hands. Oh, just a few of you? A food web is many food chains connected together. And then predator is an animal that hunts other animals for food. And those animals that it hunts, Kylie, are called prey, which is an animal that's hunted by another animal for food. And the last one we're going to go over is species. And species is a group of plants or animals that has many things in common. So, only a few of you have ever heard of a food web. So I'm going to come around and I'm going to show you a picture of a food web, okay? So do you see, like, especially with that bee, it's connected to a lot of different food chains.
You're getting it. Wow, the lessons here. So you can quicker and quicker.
See how all kinds of creatures are connected?
So we might do that today.
Oh, we might do something with that today. All kinds of different food chains. Yeah, you can do that with that card game. You can make it into a food web instead of food chains. We're not really big. Can you please put that away? Thank you. So I'm going to read a story to you guys. It is called, What If There Were No Bees? What do you guys think would happen if there were no bees, Brenner?
The world would end.
The world would end. Brandon, what do you think?
All the trees would like kind of die out. And then they like their seeds and their pollen wouldn't spread.
Yes. Alasia, do you have something to add?
There would be no honey.
There would be no honey. I love honey. Ryan?
Flowers can have their color.
Yeah. They wouldn't be there to pollinate the flowers. Alea?
The flowers wouldn't grow.
Mm-hmm. The flowers wouldn't be able to grow because they wouldn't be pollinated, right?
And no other plants would.
Mm-hmm. Rooney?
This is not actually like a thing, but it's a thing. These are one of the most important jobs in the world.
Yes, they do have one of the most important jobs in the world. Lincoln, last thing.
They'll not like the tree will ungrow and they have like be rotten
Mm-hmm.
and they won't get any honey and stuff.
Yes. All right, Tyler, last one.
Food would
Right.
taste different without honey.
Food would taste different without honey, wouldn't it?
Even ham.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what if there were no bees? A book about the grassland ecosystem. Don't be fooled by a bee's size. It's tiny compared to the foxes, skunks, and owls that share its grassland home. But bees do the work of giants. Bees spend countless hours darting from flower to flower to collect pollen and nectar. Grassland plants, animals, and insects are tied to one another by food chains. Bees, as well as other living things, belong to several chains. Many food chains are connected by one plant or animal to create larger food webs. Flowers are a bee's best friend. They're often filled with a sweet liquid called nectar. Bees sip nectar to keep up their energy. Honeybees also use nectar to make honey. As bees collect nectar, tiny pieces of pollen stick to their furry legs. When bees visit other flowers, the pollen falls off. Flowering plants need pollen to create seeds and fruits. This process is called pollination. As bees fly around to collect food, they face many dangers. Spiders, birds, toads, and other hungry predators hunt these hard-working insects. Pollution and some of the pesticides farmers use to protect their crops can also hurt bees. Mice often make unwelcome nests in honeybee boxes. While the mice aren't dangerous to the bees, they do damage the boxes and the bees' honeycomb. The smell of mouse droppings may cause bees to leave their hive for good. So what would happen if bees became extinct? If there were no bees, farmers near grasslands would have a lot of trouble growing crops. Farmers need bees, especially honeybees, to help pollinate their fruit and nut trees. Apple, cherry, plum, and avocado trees would produce less fruit, or none at all, without bees. Almond and macadamia trees would produce less too. Sometimes a plant or animal species is so important that without it, many other species could become extinct. It's called a keystone species. Bees are a keystone species. Keystone species help make sure an ecosystem has many types of life in it. Fields of strawberry plants wouldn't be able to produce fruit. Neither would blueberry plants. Without bees, there would be fewer carrots, onions, and other vegetables. Bees are major pollinators of many fruit and vegetable crops. Grassland wildflowers and other plants couldn't make seeds without bees. Flowering bushes in nearby forests couldn't grow berries for birds. Soon, many mice, squirrels, and other small animals would not have enough food to survive. Honeybees make honey from the nectar they collect. Bears, skunks, mice, and ants love the sweet honey. No, girls. It's an important food source for them. Without honey, these animals and many others would suffer. Without bees, grasslands and nearby farms and forests would become quieter, less colorful places. No flowering plants blanketing the wide open fields. Fewer truckloads of fresh fruits and vegetables. No bright berries or crunchy seeds for the forest animals to eat. What would happen if bees became extinct? All kinds of things. The loss of one small creature, even as small as a bee, can have a huge effect on the ecosystems of our world. Today, scientists are studying bees closely to learn how to keep them safe and healthy. Farmers are finding new ways to control pests. All this hard work should mean more bees buzzing around in the future. So, what are some of the things from the book that would happen if bees went extinct? Rooney, what was one of them from the book?
Won't get food.
Yeah, some smaller animals that rely on like nuts and seeds and berries, they wouldn't have any food. Tamaya?
It will barely be colored.
There would be no color. Because all those pretty wildflowers wouldn't be able to live. Aurora?
Like farms or like places would be like more quiet.
Mm-hmm. And would farmers be able to grow crops very easily?
No.
No. Olivia? Mm-hmm. Tyler?
There would be a few truckloads of our food.
Yeah, the food that we eat. If there weren't any bees, would we be affected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't live without bees.
Exactly. Alasia?
Farmers wouldn't be able to grow the food they do today.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to. They'd have a really hard time growing food because bees are major pollinators. They are endangered. Yeah. That's why scientists are looking at ways to help keep them safe and healthy. Jaden? Aaliyah?
Does a flower die when a bee takes pollen from it?
No.
Is it bad for the flower?
No. It's actually how new flowers are made, because flowers can't make seeds unless bees or butterflies or other insects pollinate it.
Wait, butterflies stuff nectar?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Butterflies stuff nectar too?
Yeah.
They pollinate too.
Yep. Butterflies are also pollinators, but bees are a major one that we read about. So, on Seesaw, I just want you guys to listen to me right now. I don't want you to go on your iPads. But on Seesaw, under science, so Myers Science and Massed Science, there is an activity for this week, and it is called What If There Were No ... Because there's 3 other books just like this one. You guys are going to pick one of those books to listen to or read, Either one. And, sorry, did you have something to say, Miss? Okay. So you guys are gonna pick one of those books. Just one. If you wanna listen to more than one, you can, that's fine. But you need to pick at least one. And then you are going to answer the questions that are on the slides there. And one of them says, complete this Google form. You are going to click on that link to complete those questions for that, okay? So what are you gonna do, Tyler? Go to Seesaw.
And then other science, we do an activity or whatever goes after that. And there's 3 books we could listen to.
Yep.
And we at least need to get them.
Yes.
And we at least do it today.
We are going to be working on this in science all week. This is what we're working on. Because there's quite a bit in those slides for you to do. Okay? You got it, David? Know what you're doing?
Did you talk about how in the stories they only have to choose one, right? And that there's the sound.
I said they could read it or listen to it.
Listen to, yep.
Yep. All right, what are you doing, Asen? You don't know yet. Well, what did I tell you to do? Rudy, can you help him out?
On science, there's like a Google slide, and then you pick one of those stories on it and do the stuff on it and tell you.
Yes, you're gonna listen to the story or you're gonna read it, either one, and then you're gonna answer the questions on the other slides, okay? Got it? No? Yes? No? Alea? Yes? No? You good? You got it? Alasia? Yes, also go to the Google form and answer the questions on there too. All right, get to it.
And wait,
Oh, sorry.
and what's nice about that Google form is you get to a question you don't know, guess what you can go do? No. Go back and read it again. Read the books again.
Yes.
So you have the information in front of you. Nice try.
I'll
though.
unlock them in a second. Remember, you guys, will you unlock them, please?
Yeah.
Remember that there is one Google slide that's the live links, and then you'll have to go to add response to fill out the Google form or all the information in the Google slideshow. So remember that, just like in math and reading.
Yeah, just like your choice boards.
Did you unlock them?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Okay.
What are your activities?
Oh, it's nice.
And then it's that right there. So you
Hey.
click that link. Do you have headphones? You gotta click the link.
I will
again.
give him the message. Oh, you're welcome. Have a good day.
This is about the bees story that I just read to you, so you'll answer those 2 things in Seesaw, on the template in Seesaw, just like you do for math. And then here are the different stories. So let's click whichever one you want to do. Gray wolves, lemmings, or sea otters. Whichever one. Gray wolves.
And your sisters,
I'm gonna open that up.
can help. You guys are gonna come to your chair, or you just sit right here and you go to your chair, okay? So go over your chair.
And then each place where it has that little highlight thing, I'm just gonna click on it, okay? I'll click on it.
Okay, just for a second. Yasmin, after you're done helping her, her sister forgot her iPad, so when you're done helping, she's gonna go and they're gonna sit and listen to it together. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So, are you all set? Okay, so you can go to the
Yep.
force field
So
and
then
join
you're
your
gonna go
sister.
right here.
You want to minus?
Yeah.
Is asking is the difference between a food web and a food chain? So what is the difference? What does a food chain look like?
It's like that. Well, what he eats and what he doesn't eat or something.
It's just like that. It's a straight line, right? This eats this, eats this. Oh, do you remember what the food web looked like in your story? Do you remember? Let's open it back up and see. Food web looks a lot different.
Well, it didn't really work for me. I posted it on YouTube. Oh, my YouTube. I watched it.
What if there were measuring these? Let's just look at the food web page.
Yeah, that.
Does this look like a straight line?
No. It's like.
Yeah. Exactly. You got some stuff going off here. Yeah, some stuff going off here.
Some stuff on the bottom.
So yeah, some stuff going off on the bottom, right? So when it asks what is the difference between a food chain and a food web, what do you think?
It has to go in a straight line, not.
Yeah, that's what a chain is. And then a web is all over the place, right? Because a web is just a bunch of different food chains connected. You see the red arrows? That's a food chain. Purple ones, that's a food chain. Green ones, that's another food chain, right?
But it has to go in a straight line, not over.
Yeah, for the most part, a food chain is just a straight line. Because this eats this, eats this. But a food web is all over the place. Okay?
So, can I?
Yep, go back.
So, I said the wolf eats deer and fish, but then can't. So where's the this one? So it's the one.
So this one is asking what is the difference between a food web and a food chain. So what is the difference between a food web and a food chain?
It's not all. It's telling me it's all over the place.
Because
They're supposed to be like food chains are straight lines, but then the webs are like everywhere, right?
yeah, because it's a bunch of different food chains connected together, right? Awesome.
Thank you.
Yep.
The questions.
Okay. So
Okay.
and then you're going to this one here. This is about the story about bees that I wrote to you guys. So this is just the things that you learned. Here you're going to draw a food chain from the book that you read. This one is what's the difference between a food web and a food chain? What is the difference?
A difference is when a food web is it's basically like a food chain, except it's more animals that they eat.
Yeah.
And food chain is just only it's what is it eat or what are they eating by?
Yeah. So a food chain is this eats this, right? That's a straight line. The food web, you've got a chain going off here, you've got a chain going off here, you've got a chain going off here, right? It's a bunch of different food chains put together. Okay. But then here's where you're going to answer these questions, okay? Every page, this one you'll have to go back out to the link. Yeah, you need to. Because you have to go back up to the link and click on Google Form, and it'll take you to some questions. Okay. You good? Understand? Okay. Got it.
You know that, right? The Google form, you're going to click on that.
Okay.
Google library.
So it says create a plan to protect the species that you read about. So which one? You read about the gray wolves, right? So how could you protect them? What's something you could do?
Other animals eat them.
Don't let other animals eat them. How are you going to do that? How are you going to control all the animals in the forest? Go back to your story.
Okay.
There's actually some ideas that were in there. Did you know that?
I didn't really look on the website.
So, let's go here. We're going to open up the story. Technology wants to be my friend today. I want you to listen to this all right here, because this says how to help keep our forests healthier. Okay, so there's some ideas there. Do you have your headphones?
Oh, yeah.
These ones?
I'm not wanting to do this.
Yeah. So I want you to listen to that and see if you can come up with any ideas of something you could do. Okay?
You can actually don't litter.
So, you said don't hunt the gray wolves. You need at least two things that people can do to help protect them. So one is don't hunt them. What's something else that people could do to help protect them? Yeah, they could help feed them. What do gray wolves eat? And you put in why it is important, but what's this third one? What other species rely on it? Did you put that in there? See what other kinds of details you can add to it, okay? But you are all great, sir. And I love that you put dear community. I love that. try to convince your teacher not to hunt gray wolves? Okay.
So, in your